All right, so before I got sidetracked, well, not really sidetracked. I was just kind of explaining my love for Zelda and by extension Nintendo, um, which I think kind of explains why I'm so excited. Why I'm sitting here talking about a fucking review for Zelda on the Wii. I was really wanting to make this about the review that Edge magazine did for Zelda, and recapping that Edge magazine gave Zelda Skyward Sword for the Wii a perfect 10 out of 10. They're known for notoriously tough review scores. They're usually on the lower end, and um, I think it was a very well written review, very well written. Even like just the way it starts off. And I'm gonna be referring to the review a lot here, but just the way it starts off. Pity the Deku Baba, Hyrule's answer to the Venus flytrap. Encountered early in the majority of 3D Zeldas, has become a guinea pig for Nintendo's keenest innovators. Just such a smart way to start a review to talk about its biggest innovation in the game, which is using Motion Plus. And like I said, I had one friend who started reading this. He read the first page, which the whole first page is just about how well the controls work. And he's like, "Well, this guy's obviously a Nintendo fanboy, and he loves waggle controls." Which one? It's not. Waggle was a term coined to describe games that responded to motion, but nothing specific. This is not unspecific motion. This is motion plus like very specific motion controls. Now, I will agree with him that I am not a fan of motion controls even when they work well. Like, they work for some games, they work for party games. I like to play bocce ball, actually, on PlayStation Move. It's probably the only game I've played on PlayStation in the last fucking 6 months. So, besides the original Silent Hill, which doesn't count. But my point is, I'm not a fan of motion controls. I understand that my buddy here is not a fan of motion controls. But he can't just read that first page and be like, oh, well, obviously this guy's a fanboy. Because to me, you have to start talking about the motion controls right away. Like, that's what it should be about at first. Because that's the biggest change in the game that's going to feel different. Yes, Twilight Princess had motion controls, but that was waggle control, okay? This is not waggle control. This is following exactly what you do. Um, and it's not even using the sensor bar, the IR infrared scanning for pointing. Is using total like gyroscope, like just so how you move will be how you aim. So I could not even be pointing at the sensor bar. I could be pointing wherever, but like how I move is gonna dictate how I'm aiming something. Like I'm aiming the bow and arrow, or I'm looking at something. Okay. So I think both those things are good things. Yes, I'm gonna get this out of the way right at the start. I don't like having to move my hands all around all the time to control a game. I like to just sit there with the controller and kick back and have fun. And that goes for even like, I think Tiger Woods is brilliant on the Wii. I think it's very good, like the newer ones. But at the same time, if I want to play a golf game, I kind of just want to chill and just fucking relax. Like that's part of what a golf video game is. But at the same time, I'm not gonna go into a review and sit there and go, I hate motion controls, blah blah blah, like, and that's why this game sucks, and I didn't want to give it a chance. You kind of have to give it a chance and see how it is. And this guy seemed won over by it. He even said that like the motion controls in Twilight Princess are shit. So I could get over that, but like a few interesting things that they state in the review. Like I said, it uses gyroscope for the aiming, so it's just all based on motion for the aiming. And it's like if you're just walking around and you're doing one to one, with the sword. So Link's sword is gonna do whatever your hand is doing. You could sit there and like he's like you could look at your sword like that. You could like if you come on like a group of enemies, you see them all like waiting for you. You could like point at each one of them like this is the order I'm gonna kill you, and you could just do shit like that. It's fucking fun. But once you get into the combat, it's kind of more digital. Like you're using the motion controls, but it's like an 8-way directional type thing. So like It's not gonna do 1-to-1. Like you can't just be like, woo. Like it's just gonna be like, like it's gonna recognize directions, but it's they say it does it, phenomenally. Um, let's see if there's any quotes that stand out to me here. He says it's unfaltering fidelity, never once let us down. And I wish I knew who the author of this is. They're like doing it as we're the magazine publishing this, but whoever there was definitely a primary writer. I wish I knew who it was, but um, and he just says that it kind of opens up like how like not just the controls are good, they work well, like unfaltering, never had a problem, but it opens up the way you're gonna use items. Like you could throw bombs overhand, you could roll them underhand like a bowling ball. And he even says it takes into account everything Nintendo has learned as a first-party developer on the system over the years, and kind of rolls it all into one and says, "What are the best things that work, and let's use them and make them better." And this is in a Zelda game. It's not like in like we're playing Wii Sports or something. But he also says it kind of, I don't know, it kind of changes everything in the game. Like the puzzles are built around it. He says there's one boss. I don't know if it's on this page. Uh, yeah, he says the fact that one recurring boss boasts no greater gimmick than quick reflexes shows how far Skyward Sword has moved beyond earlier games. So now, like this boss is not about figuring out his weakness and exploiting it. Like with most Zelda bosses, all you gotta do is figure out what you gotta do, and that's it. It's a simple, easy kill. Here, this guy is just fucking fast and he has good reflexes. So it's about how good you could fight him with your sword. So I mean, I'm not excited to be sit there and swinging my arms around through a 35-hour game, which is what they list the time as. Nintendo boasted way longer time, but they said 35 hours. But if I'm gonna be doing motion controls, I'd love it to be in a game like Zelda, and I love the motion controls to be interesting and add something new and do something you can't do in other games, which is what they're claiming it does. Awesome, great, dude. There's an upgrade system, kind of like an RPG or whatever. They say it's not that interesting in this, and that's cool, but that's a nice change. Like people have been asking for more RPG elements, and here you can upgrade your weapons to be stronger. I think their main complaint about it is one, it's kind of basic, which you gotta kind of expect. Zelda's not known for being an RPG game, so introducing something like this, you kind of gotta do it small at first. And their major complaint more than that though, is that it makes the game easier, and the game is already not that hard. I don't know. That doesn't bother me. Um, but just some of the quotes on the last page. Having broken molds, Skyward Sword refuses to set others. No 2 hours are the same. Pirate ship chases become minecart roller coasters, become stronghold raids, all in the course of one afternoon. It's like this is when my boner's starting to go. Woo. Um, you wonder if Nintendo has found the secret to infinite level design. This is one of my favorite quotes. I was just like, oh man. Like at this point, I'm like total boner. And he's just praising it completely over the top. He goes, it's 35 hours, and that's ignoring a wealth of trinkets. They fly by in a heroic blur of pirates, dragons, and zombie-filled crypts. Are you not sold on this fucking game already? I'm not trying to sell you on it. I'm just saying how I reacted to this article. Um, this is a game made for Christmas Day, released an agonizing 6 weeks before. And I'm just gonna read you the final paragraph and just give you some final thoughts. I know I'm gonna run out of time. I'm not gonna go in the third video. Um, Nintendo has been so busy elaborating on Ocarina's heroic ideal that it's forgotten to embrace it for itself. He's saying it's been so like since Ocarina, it's been so stuck in the rut of Ocarina, which was great, that it's forgetting to embrace to just be Zelda. Okay, so what better way to honor 25 years of bravery than courageously striving for something new? Awesome. And what opportune hardware to cut those ties. After all, hasn't the Wii hardware spent the past 5 years searching for the hero inside itself? First party experiments have tested Wii's boundaries, deducing what does and doesn't work. Their findings resonate throughout Skyward Sword. In Wii Sports, powerbomb bowling, and skydiving and swordplay learned on a woohoo holiday. In the surreal beauty and orchestral bombast beamed down from Super Mario Galaxy, which, if the music is anywhere near Mario Galaxy, awesome. In the metallic Metroid chunk of a door lock. Even the opinion-dividing Wii music is vindicated in subtle moments of auto-tuning cleverness. Final line. How apt that this ultimate tale of hero-making should see Nintendo's hardware become the console it was always meant to be. And when I came to the end of that, I was moved by it. I was like, literally, like, emotionally moved by this review. And just, it's just the thought of Nintendo, which has been so screwing up here and there, and that the Wii was just a disappointment outside of the virtual console and like Super Mario Galaxy and a handful of games. Just to see a victory for them, like they made a great game, and not only is it just any game that they made that was great, it's a Zelda game that they didn't, and Zelda to me has been on a slump forever. Like, I love Twilight Princess, but like I said, I can't play it again. Too short of a beginning. I heard right in this one, it's right off the bat, you're getting thrown in a dungeon almost. And Zelda, like, and since then, the only Zeldas you've had are like the DS ones, which I don't like the DS ones. I just don't like them, man. I'm sorry. I'm a huge Zelda fan. I love the old top-down ones, which those are essentially are. I just don't like them, man. I don't like, and I like that Wind Waker art style. I love it, but I just don't like the DS games. So it feels like it's been so long since Nintendo has been a winner on anything. They fucked up with the 3DS, which I like. I think it's a cool system, but they fucked up with that. I think they ultimately fucked up with the Wii. At the very least, you could have made it an HD system, and if you would listen for once, you would make a great online. And they fucked up with their software for the Wii. It's too scattered. And just to see, like, here's a victory, and then here's them digging themselves out of the hole, and they released a fucking great game. Now, granted, it could totally be bullshit, and I could totally be like, what the fuck? And I could still fucking kind of be pissed off at the Wii, but if Zelda is as good as if Zelda Skyward Sword is as good as they say, and I'm taking their word for it because of this publication, and I'm very interested to see other reviews, but I'll just say, just after reading this 10 out of 10 review from Edge, which not only got me excited about the game, just a well-written review, very well-written review, and I'm so excited for this game now. I'm just excited for where the series could go going forward. I'm excited for the Wii U, but I'm more than anything, I'm just excited to play a new console Zelda that's built for the system that it's supposed to be played on, which Twilight Princess, when it came out on the Wii, it wasn't. And that it's not on a handheld, it's a home console Zelda, and it's going to work. Yeah, I'll have to deal with the motion controls and get through them, but if the game is as good as they're saying, like the core game itself is as good as they're saying, and if they use motion controls in interesting ways, I'll get past the fact that I have to move my arm around. I move my arm around a lot anyway, you know what I'm saying? So thanks for watching. That's my rant on Zelda, Nintendo, and Edge Magazine's review of Skyward Sword. Later, guys.